Hi guys, Harry here from Colour Pencil Reviews. Thanks very much for joining me today. Today, as you can see, I've got a review of the Koh-I-Noor Polycolor colour pencils. This wasn't particularly a brand that was kind of like high on my list of wanting to go out and get. I was requested by a couple of people to do a review on these, so I went out and got them. And to be quite honest with you, I'm really pleasantly surprised with them, and so I'm glad that I've been asked to go and do a review on them and have been pushed out to go and get them a little bit sooner than perhaps I would have done ordinarily. So I'm really quite happy about that. So let's get straight into the review, and before I start, I'll let you know just a little bit about the company. Okay, so the company Koh-I-Noor, I've tried to do a little bit of research on the company, and they're very vague about a lot of things that they do. They were formed in 1790 by a guy called Joseph Hardmuth. I know I'm butchering that surname because it's not spelt the way I've pronounced it. It's a Czech. I believe that they're based now in the Czech Republic, but they have a lot of subsidiary factories all over the place in Poland, China, Italy, Slovakia, Bulgaria and Romania. But I'm not too sure whether these different factories and outlets that they have produce different products that they do, or whether, you know, you could get it if you bought like a set of 36 Polycolor from Koh-I-Noor. They could either come from one of these factories. I'm not too sure. Again, it's information that's not really available. So as you can see, there's a sleeve surrounding this, like it's just a cardboard sleeve. It's not like the Lyra one that I done, but has any information. It's more decorative, so I suppose you could get rid of that. It must be just like a protective sleeve. This is a 36 set of Polycolor that I've got. Now the sets that they come in, actually I'll get into that in a little bit actually, because the sets that they come in are a little bit weird, and I'm not too sure why they've done it the way they have. So I'll get into that later on when I'm going through the colours and the swatch. But for now, that's the front of the box. The back of the box, there's not really a lot of information about the pencils either. It just says artist coloured pencils along here. Up here it just says authentic quality product, and then down here there's a little bit of information about the factory that I suppose that this particular batch were made in. When you open the tin up, there's a little bit of information on the inside. Don't know whether you can see that or not. An old photograph there of the factory. I suppose that must have been the one in Vienna in 1790. So they've been around a long while. For anybody who can't read it there, I'll just say it says, since 1790 our Koh-I-Noor brand has been a touchstone for both professional and students. Today our commitment is to this heritage combines with the state-of-the-art manufacturing, fine hand crafting, and the never-ending thrill of innovation to produce tools and accessories of unsurpassable quality. So I put that down there. Also, this pamphlet came with the pencils, and I was actually really quite surprised. Again, there's not a lot of information about the products, but there's a hell of a lot of products that Koh-I-Noor do that I wasn't really aware of. You can have a look there, but quite a lot of products that they do. And this is the pencils themselves. Like I say, this is the 36 set. I'll just lift out one of the pencils. Now, one of the things that they don't tell you is the core size or the barrel size. Now, for the purpose of this, I've compared the Koh-I-Noor Polycolor with a lot of the pencils I have, and I think the closest that it comes to is the Derwent Studio pencil. Now, the Derwent Studio pencil, the dimensions of this pencil are a 3.4 millimeter core, so that's the actual pigment area, and the barrel is 6.9 millimeters. And for the sake of this review, I'm going to say that the Koh-I-Noor is those dimensions. Now, if you take a look at the actual pencil, written along the side is the name of the company, Koh-I-Noor. Hardmuth, obviously the guy Joseph Hardmuth's name is put in there. Polycolor, which is the brand of particular pencil that they do, and then there's a serial number here at the end, which I suppose would correspond if you're trying to order open stock pencils, which they do. So you can get these pencils open stock. But unfortunately there's no colour printed on the side of the pencil, which up until recently I really didn't think was a big deal, because you know, if you can see the colour, so you know what colour it is, you know what shade it is. But then that was me being selfish, because obviously there's a lot of people out there, a lot of artists that are colour blind or partially blind, that still love to create fantastic art, and so it's important for them to have the colours written down on the actual pencil. Again, these pencils are capped, like I showed with the Lyra ones. I was referring to the Prismacolor when I was comparing that, for those of you that think I'm going mad. Some people were asking whether these pencils are capped, because as you can see here with the Prismacolor, the core of the pencil is exposed at the very end of the pencil, and I think that the capping of these pencils protects the core a little bit better, or helps center the pencil better. So that is the actual pencils themselves. They are a wax based pencil. Again, there's no literature on this saying whether it's wax or oil based, but when I've been putting the colours down, it feels waxy. The light fast rating of these pencils, there is nothing at all on the company's website or anywhere that I can find that says anything about the individual light fast rating of these pencils. Now, what it does say on the Koh-I-Noor website, which I'll leave a link to down below, when you click on the pencils, for every single set that you click on, it says exactly the same thing. It just says artistic set of water fast crayons, excellent in their light permanency, purity of colours and colour, range up to 72 different colour shades. So the fact that it says light permanency, that I think that really kind of like opens the spectrum up, so that nobody can come back and sue Koh-I-Noor for saying, you know, you said your pencils were incredibly light fast, because I don't think light permanency is the same thing as the light fast rating that a lot of artists, colour pencil artists, go by whenever they're doing work. So I would suggest or say that if you're going to be doing work for somebody, that you try to find out. I mean, the guy sent an email to the company, and I don't know whether I'm going to get a response back from them to see if they can enlighten me about the light fast rating of these. If they do, then I'll obviously make a video about it and let you know, but for now it's very, very vague, which a lot of the stuff surrounding this company is. So let's get on to the colour swatch. Now, I was really surprised when I started using these pencils. They are really soft, really creamy, but again, you know, they lay down like Prismacolor pencils. As far as I could feel and was aware, they felt very Prisma-like to me, but the core was much harder, much more. You know, when I was sharpening these pencils, there wasn't a single one of them that broke or anything like that. Again, when I do these swatches, you know, I cut these out into strips and tie them all together, as you've seen in one of the videos I've done. So, if you have a look here, when I've been doing the swatches, I do a little bit of heavier pressure on one side and lighter pressure on the other, just to give me a little bit of variation, so that if I'm looking for the colour, I can see. Now, if you remember with the Lyra pencils, I said that the too many shades, similar shades of red. Well, with this brand, it seems to be that they've done that with the blues. Now, if you look down here at the bottom, let me move these out of the way. They have there we go, this blue here, which is called, oh sorry, it's just the number 15, but when you compare it to a lot of these blues here, it's very similar. And unfortunately with this set, and I think it's maybe down to the size of the set, like I said, and with the Lyra, there's only 2 greys, which I would like to have seen a little bit more variation in the greys. They could have maybe took out one or two of those blues and put in two different shades, another two shades of greys. But that's just my own personal preference, and that's me really nitpicking a bit on this brand. So if we go around here and let me zoom in so you can see how well they blended. Okay, there you go. So obviously I have red, yellow and blue. I can only tell you the numbers of the pencils, not the actual colour. This is the dry blending. So as you can see here, the red and yellow have created a nice orange, as have the blue and yellow created a nice green. This is solvent based using Zested, and the paper that I'm using, as with the Lyra one and with a lot of the reviews I do, this is the Daler and Rowney watercolour £140 hot press paper. So it's a good, decent quality paper, but this definitely blended a lot better than the Lyra pencils did. But as you can see here, it's still not fantastic with the Zest, and it blends better dry than it does with the solvent. But again, that's probably down to the fact that there's not a lot of layers on here. I just put kind of like a thick base coat down, but not a lot of layers, so that probably has something to do with it as well. And that's really about it. Over here, I've done two kind of variations of thickness for erasing, and as you can see, I'm going to use this Derwent battery eraser. This is the top one's the lighter one, and this one here I've put a little bit more pressure on this. A few more layers. You can see there that it erases quite well. Again, use this little Tombow eraser. It erases quite well. And again, I think I've gone a little bit too heavy for trying to lift any colour off with the putty eraser, but I'll give it a go on the top one anyway, with this Faber-Castell putty eraser. Well, there you can see there, it lifts off really quite well. Much better than what the Lyra did, but then again, I didn't do like a light coverage on the Lyra test. It was a little bit too heavy, I think. So it lifts off quite well. In terms of blending, I would definitely say that the dry blending is better than the solvent based blending. But like I say, that it could be down to paper, could be down to the layers. All in all, the pencils themselves I was really happy with. So the next test that I'm going to do is using black paper, because a lot of people are doing fantastic art using colour pencils and black paper. It's decent paper, it's Winsor & Newton. So I'm just going to turn it round there for you, lift up a couple of colours. This is like a yellow colour. Let me move it centrally down. And right away, it's much more opaque. It's much more opaque than when I used the Lyra. I'm going to use a red here, nice deep red. Like a sky blue. And I would call this maybe an apple green. Let me zoom in there a little bit for you so you can see what the quality of that is like. So you can see there that on black paper these colours really do show up very well indeed. The Lyra ones, there was a lot of transparency, especially on the yellow and the green. but these ones are much more opaque and certainly show up a lot better than what the Lyra did. I will be later on doing like pitting different pencils against each other, and I suppose I would do the Lyra against the Koh-I-Noor because they're roughly in the same price bracket. This price range for these ones cost me £30, £29.99 for the 36 set. So they're roughly the same price as the Lyra, which is really, really good. Okay, so at the beginning of the video I said that I would talk to you a little bit about the sets and how Koh-I-Noor do the sets. And here's what I found a little bit strange. The sets that they do are 2 sets of 12, as you can see here. They do a brown line and a grey line, 12 sets of grey, 12 sets of brown. They do a 24 set, which you can see here down at the bottom, which is just like random colours. Then they do a 24 set landscape. They do a 24 set portrait. Then they do the 36, 48, 72. Now here's my problem. They do 72, that's kind of like their biggest range. But I don't think, I couldn't find a colour chart of the 72, what colours were in there. But I don't think that there's 12 greys in that 72 set. And also when you look at the artist, the 24 set portrait, if I can bring it down here, there's a lot of pinks, a lot of peaches and stuff like that in this set as well. And I was just curious to know, but I can't find out whether all these colours are in the 72 set as well. And if they're not, then why don't they extend the set up to, you know, still do the 12 sets of brown, 12 sets of grey, and extend the set up a little, but also do maybe 120 set with all these colours in it? Or maybe they just want people to go out and have to buy them individually. I don't know, but I just found it a little bit strange. I know Spectrum Noir do like a seascape set, a landscape set, and that type of thing, but they don't have a one big massive set. Their sets come like that. So I just found that a little bit odd, and I would like to know, again, it was something that I sent off on the email asking, do all these colours that are incorporated in the 24 set portrait and also the grey set and the brown set, do they also come included in the 72 set? And I don't think they will, because 12 greys in a 72 set is a lot of greys. That's something more along the lines that you would find in a 120 set. But that's what I was referring to with the sets. So all in all, I've got to say that I was really, really pleasantly surprised with the Koh-I-Noor. Again, with the price bracket being so low, I wasn't really expecting an awful lot from these pencils, but they really did deliver. When you consider some of the much higher priced pencils, I would say that these pencils are definitely, in terms of consistency and stuff like that, whenever you're laying it down, the colour consistency, I would say they're very, very similar to Prismacolor. Very soft, very easy to blend, that type of thing. They definitely don't break as much as the Prismacolor pencils do, and I know that's something that's a much more recent problem with Prismacolors, but nevertheless it's a problem. I've sharpened all these pencils, not one of them have broken, so really, really pleasantly surprised with the Koh-I-Noor. I would definitely recommend these. Like I said with the Lyra, if you're just getting into colour pencils, I would definitely go for a set like this, because this will really, really set you in good stead, and it'll make you, you're not going to be fighting with these colours or anything like that. In terms of layering, they layer very, very well. They are, like I say, they are a wax base, so you know you're only going to get a certain amount of layers, but if you're using solvent, then you'll be able to apply more layers. Anyway guys, that's it for me. Thanks very much for joining me. Don't forget, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I've got a page over in DeviantArt as well, and you can, if you're interested in an app called Arduino, which is for iOS and Android, go and download that and you'll be able to find me on there. There's a link down in the description box. You can follow me at Arduino. Or if you want, you can go across to Colour Pencil Reviews, that's my website, and follow me over there, and I put up lots of different pictures of my art and stuff like that as well. So thanks very much, guys. Look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.